Hello class 9. So today's topic that I'm going to take is in page number 117, and the topic that we are going to discuss here is the joints. Okay, so as you all know, a skeleton system, okay, a human skeleton, it consists of 206 bones. All these bones, to work together, they are attached, they are connected, okay, and the connection, the place where they are joined or attached or connected together in order to work, function properly, they are known as joints. So we are going to discuss about that. So there are three types of joint, you'll come to know. Okay, and these joints, it allows or permits movements, okay, between two bones. Okay, the type and the nature of the movement, the permissibility of the movements, okay, depends upon the nature of the joints. Okay, so the place where two or more bones, they are attached or they are connected, those place is known as joints. Okay, there are three types of joints. Please remember the names: immovable joint, partially movable joint, and freely movable joint. Now we are going to discuss about the first type of joint, that is the immovable joint. Okay, these joints, they do not permit any movements, okay, of bones. The bones are in very close contact and they are separated by thin layers of fibrous connective tissue called the sutures. Okay. The bones of the cranium is an example of this. You have seen your skull, no, cranium, okay, which prevents your brain. Okay, they are joint. Okay, so the skull, the bones, the joints present in the cranium does not move or does not exhibit any movements. Okay, so best example of immovable joint is your cranium. Okay, and its function, this immovable joint, it gives definite shape, okay, or size to the concerned part of the body or the organ, and also it protects that particular organ. And we are talking about the cranium, and you know that it protects your brain. Okay, so have a look. Then the second one is slightly movable joint. Okay, the slightly movable joint is characterized by bones that are connected by hyaline cartilage. Okay, the ribs, okay, they come under this. The ribs that connects the sternum are example of partial movable joints. So the joints present in your ribs, okay, that are attached with your breastbone or the sternum there, okay, it exhibit only small partial movement. So those, it comes under partial movable joint. Okay, and the third one is freely movable joint. Freely movable joints are joints such as your elbow, your knee, and your shoulders. They are freely movable joints. Okay, the bones there connected together, they can freely move. Okay, so these joints, they permits varying degree of movement. Okay, the bones of freely movable joints are held together by bundles of ligaments. They hold together the bones. The space between the bones is filled with special fluid called the synovial fluid, okay, and is contained in a special sac-like structure which is known as the synovial sac. Hence, this type of joints are called the synovial joint also. Please remember that. Okay. The synovial joint, this fluid, the synovial fluid, it lubricates the joint when the bones move. Okay. The end of the bones are covered by layers of cartilage. The cartilage does not tear easily, such that it prevents your bones also. Okay, depending upon the type of the movement of freely movable joints, they are as follows. Please remember that. First one is the hinge joint. Okay, hinge joint, it allows movement in one plane only. Okay, so example, you can take your elbows and your wrist. No, you can move your elbow. How does it move? Only in one direction, up and down, just like the hinge of your door. No, so that is hinge joint. Second one is pivot joint. It allows movement of one bone over the pivot-like end of another bone. So example, the joints between the skull and your backbone. Okay, it allows the skull to rotate on the upper end of your backbone. It only allows rotatory movement. No? Then another one is the gliding joint. Take an example of your wrist bone. The joints present, how does it move? It glides upon one another. Yes or no? So it allows movement of the bone in a sideway and in back or forth direction. Okay, and the last one is the ball and the socket joint. Okay, this is a joint. Okay, in one bone, it has a round structure, ball-like structure. Okay, which fits into a hollow end. Okay, like a socket-like structure. You have seen, no, sockets. The plug, we put it inside the socket. Yes or no? Ball and socket. Okay, example, the joints that are present in your hip joint and your shoulder joints. Okay. You have seen a doll also, no? If you have seen a doll, you can see the hand, they have a round ball-like structure that fits into that small hole-like structure, the body. No? That is the socket. So ball and socket. So we also have the same thing. Our arms, they are attached together. Okay, and the joints present there is known as ball or socket joint. Understanding? So these are the different types of freely movable joints. Okay. Now you should remember that the bones allow, only the bones alone cannot function. It does not provide movement. So along with that, we have muscles. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about that. Muscles and their functions. Okay, as you can see the picture, bones, you can see that they do not work alone. Okay, they need help from the muscles to get force or power of or for movement. Okay, muscles pulls the joint, allow structures to move. Okay, they are connected to the bones by tough cord-like tissues called the tendons, which allows the muscles to pull the bones. Came to know that bones, they are attached by ligaments. Okay, and this bones along with the muscles, they are attached by a tissue which is known as tendons. Okay, if you wriggle your finger, you can see the tendons on the back of your hand moves as they do their work. So when you wriggle, what happens? You can see the movements in your hands, no? So it is due to the presence of the tendons. Okay, all muscles work in pair, whether there are three types of muscles. Okay, striped muscles, smooth muscles, or cardiac muscles. Okay, all muscles work in pairs. This is because they can either contract or relax, but cannot lengthen or stretch themselves. Okay, the striped muscle is the muscle that are present on your legs and your arms. Okay, you have direct control over these muscles and can make almost all movements as you wish. These muscles are always found in pairs and are called antagonistic muscles. Okay, so when your bicep or your you can see the picture. No, when this bicep, it contracts. Okay, it bends the elbow joint. Okay, at the same time, it also pulls your triceps to make it longer. So the tricep is stretched by the bicep pulling it. When the triceps is in contract, it extends your elbow joint, and at the same time it pulls your biceps and makes it longer. Okay, so These two muscles work together. You can see, they are working together. Muscles, they always work in pairs. Neither muscles can stretch itself. It must be stretched by its antagonistic partner, or the second, the pair. They are in pairs, so the partner helps in stretching it. It cannot move by itself alone. Okay, so this is how it works. Along with the bones and the muscles present there, we can move. Okay, so the movement that occurs in our body is all due to the skeleton system along with the muscles that are present in your body. With this, we conclude this chapter. Okay, hope you have understood. Thank you so much.